Hey, friends. Hello, 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 and welcome. Thank you for being here. Tonight, I have a special guest, Bill from Tools of Fortune. Now, he has had to step away briefly, but he will be back. Thank you so much for coming by, for dropping in. I was getting my decks shuffled and ready. I have a variety of decks out on the table today, I have to say. And I was thinking, my gosh, this is just not going to work. Like, I have too many decks out here, but I like having a lot of decks out. It's a lot of fun. Hey, Ange. Hey, Mama Sushi. Hello. Thank you. Hi, Ravni. Hello. Oh, it was Monday today. I hope everyone had a beautiful day, as beautiful as Mondays can be. As beautiful as they can be. Surrounded by decks. Yeah, so I was like, the desk is not big enough. Okay, I need a bigger desk. No, because then I have to move all my furniture to accommodate. I need a better storage system. Like, I just don't know. I just don't know. Right now, I would say, hey, Carolina, hi, welcome. Revni, you're still working. That's work lurking. Work lurking. That's funny. So, yeah, I have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 Oracle decks and 4 Tarot decks. But, like, that's not even, then on my regular over here, I have a cubby that is full of decks, my working decks. And that's full, and my drawer is full. I don't know. I need a better system, you guys. I need a better system because every time I turn around, I'm like low-key adding another deck to the collection. Oh my gosh. Yes, so for those of you that are joining, in case you're wondering, today I'm going to be on with Bill. Hey, Christine, are we doing the new moon live? Let's see. It's on May. Shoot, Ange, I don't remember the date off the top of my, head. Do you have it handy? I can't remember what day it is. Whoa, you backed the Quiet Rebel, the Tarot and the Oracle. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't be enabling you, but I'm like, yeah, I love that deck. It's so good. Gypsy JJ, hello. How are you? Happy to see you. Yeah, that deck is so cool. It's like the best. And the card stock is really good. Hey, Desiree. May 12th. Oh, it's on a Monday, flower moon. I don't anticipate any problems with that date. Uh, I do need to sidebar with my sweet Ange. I need to sidebar with my Ange about a potential action plan for June. So, yes, I'm happy to see everybody. And in case you're wondering, my pal Bill had to run off for a minute. So I was just here hanging out with you guys, getting my decks ready. Uh, and then for any friends in the chat, if there is something that is on your mind, if you have a question, feel free to drop it into the chat, all caps, and we are happy to read for you. Yeah, that deck is so good. So good. Ta-da. I'm done now. That's so funny. V8 power. Cheese and cheese with chicken. I don't know what that means. Mm-mm-mm. We had such a good time. I think, but I kept talking. I kept Desiree awake. Desiree. I kept her awake, but we had such a good time. You guys, I was fooling around with the deck today. This is a deck. I actually got this for my birthday. It was a very nice surprise from Essence of the Moon, Selena. She sent over this I Am Queen. And I saw this on somebody's channel. Shoot, maybe Tapestry of the Unseen. Lila, maybe? I can't remember if it was Lila or Cedar Moon Witch. Somewhere I saw it. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. And I added it to my wish list and then I got it. It was super cool. Miss Terrell D, hello. But look how pretty it is. You know, I'm sure you've seen it, but in case, I'll share some of the cards. It's gorgeous. You put it on your list too? Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Yeah, it's really pretty. The art is quirky, but I like it. I do need to spend time with it though, to learn a little bit more about, some of the meanings. A lot of them are, pretty intuitive, but some of them I'm like, oh, I wonder how I would pull that into a reading. But I think it's super interesting, right? Because this deck does a lot of things with the third eye chakra and the throat chakra. So I discovered that today when I was working. Like each one of them has something going on in their throat. Do you see that? Like it's just super interesting. This one has the third eye at the throat. So this one is called Queen of Creativity. Actually, she has two third eyes. She has one up here and then the other one here. I don't know. Of course, I love these bright and colorful decks. This one has it in her hand. That always reminds me of the Hamza. Da da da. Desiree. I was gonna text you today, and then I got sidetracked. As the story of my life. I get sidetracked. This one is really beautiful. Look at that. Innocence. That one is awesome. So yeah, we were getting ready to go live, and Bill had to uh, take care of something. Love your inner God. Yes, that's exactly yes. Okay, so Ravneet, it does have that vibe. So I feel like it's perfect for, when you're feeling that disconnection from yourself. So in fact, I'm going to be using these for my next series of YouTube shorts. So you can expect to see these. I was working on them earlier today, and I'm looking forward to putting them up on the channel. And then, yes, and so I had a Hamza charm, but when I saw the one that you sent, I was like, uh-oh, I took mine out and I put yours in. Oh, because it was so cute. I love it. My daughter got me this for birthday, and I don't know if you can see. It's a little Hamza pendant. Yeah. It has like the lighter blue instead of the darker blue, but it's really pretty. And I like how it sits like right there at the throat. Because for me, I feel like that is where, if I'm gonna get stunted, that's where it's gonna be at the throat chakra. So that's where I want my most protection to be. So it's perfect, actually. Yeah, this is a great deck. So while we're waiting for Bill, if any one of you would like me to pull a card from the deck, and then we can take a quick peek at the guidebook and see how it reads, I'm happy to do that. If you don't already have it, that is. So let me know. It's a gorgeous deck. My only complaint, of course, because I'm a greedy, it has 36 cards. 36 cards. And look at the gilding. Ta! It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay. All right, let me see here. Oh, Desiree, Thank you. Yes, today was hair wash day. Today was hair wash day. I worked hard on it. I worked hard on it. I'm reminded that I'm running out of product and I need to get some more. Okay, Ange would like a card, so I will pull a card for my dear friend Ange. Okay, what message? What message do we need? Go. Ooh, Queen of Sensuality. Look at that. Queen of Sensuality. So let me find out what number is that. They're all numbered. So that's card number 13. That's 13, Ange. 13. 3 and 1 is 4. So let's see. See what the booklet says. Hard to do it with one hand. Hold on. There. Queen of Sensuality embodies a deep appreciation for pleasure and for the riches of sensory experience. I mean, if our decks are not sensory, I don't know what is. 13 is a death. You know what? This is the day, because you know why? Like the death of something to make room for something new. So this is going to be your self-care practice for today, Ange. This queen understands the importance of being fully present in the moment, allowing herself to be immersed in the sensations of pleasure surrounding her. Mm, From the simplest of pleasures to the most indulgent, she finds joy in every experience. This queen knows how to find pleasure everywhere, from the taste of a delicious meal to the sun's warmth on her skin. She revels in the sensuality of life, embracing each moment with a sense of wonder and gratitude. I mean, that has Empress vibes, right? That's like Empress, or I don't know, like Queen of Pentacle vibes. So then when you pull the card, I don't know if this is going to be a deck that I pull the cards out all the time, but when you pull, you can read that section. The next section is finding her within, and then the last section is her gifts. So, finding her within, reflect on what pleases you, and then the gifts. Allow the queen to awaken your senses and infuse your life with joy and fulfillment. So there you have it, my dear. That is your card from the I Am Queen Oracle. Card 13, Queen of Sensuality. There's something to that, the fact that her home is on the top of her head, right? She is not confined within her home. She is outside of her home. I really love that. Beautiful. Hello, Bill. We're
Well,
back. I'm so happy. Everybody was wondering where you were.
well, one of those things that all of our important data got sold when the Doge team went into Social Security. They sold all of our Social Security numbers and important information to Russia for
Oh.
it to happen. And so somebody called from a financial institution where all of my mother's savings are at, and they wanted to authorize the withdrawal of that entire amount. But it was right before the place closed, and so they tried to call to get a hold of somebody, but you couldn't call to talk to anybody. So we're kind of like in this limbo, and Mom's very, very upset right now, and which is
I understand. Do you have to go?
no, but there's nothing that we can do about it right now until
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. That's a lot. We were talking here at home about this because it's happening more and more. And we have been considering freezing our social security numbers for the purposes of, like, people checking your background and credit and things like that. So that is something that we've been thinking about, and it's a big pain in the neck because it's this big long process. But what else can you do to protect yourself?
Yeah, exactly. How to do that. And so it's just like, yeah, it may have been just a scam call. Miss Terry, we briefly got a hold of a representative, but exactly at the time of their closing, then all the calls just ended.
Yeah,
And so mom tried, calling, a dozen other times and kept on frantically trying to get a hold of somebody, but every time it just ended. And I said, well, mom, we have to, there's nothing we can do about it right now. We can't do anything about it till tomorrow morning. And so unfortunately, that's the way it is. And
mm-hmm. Oh, well, I will be sending positive vibes to you, and I hope that you're able to get that resolved because there's nothing that is such a terrible situation, and not to have peace of mind, it's just terrible.
yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then get older, it's harder to it's harder to process those things when parts of your memory start to go missing.
Yes,
And
yes. Well, look what Miss Terrell D says. They do that at the end of the day to make it seem like more of an emergency. And then people rush and give their information without thinking in the moment. Good thing that she came to get you.
she did, but she had gotten a call, and then at that where they're like, but I don't even know. She doesn't really even know where exactly right now where the call. Maybe it came from there, but you just don't know. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing is, we all have to control the thieves that are in power. I'm gonna turn this on here because
Yes, you do that. I was thinking I need to turn the fan on.
you know what? Is that light over there battery dead on it? Yeah. All right. Well,
There we go.
oh no. Yeah.
Well, I sure am sorry that that is happening. Hopefully, this will all blow over. Uh, they get you right at the end of the day when now you'll spend all night worrying about it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do we have any questions here?
So I was just kind of, just having conversation. I was sharing a new deck that I had and some of sharing some of the cards. And I asked if there was anybody that wanted, a card pull from the deck just so they can kind of get an idea of the energy. And I read for Ange. And that's as far as we got.
Oh,
Really, we
okay.
were just chit chatting. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
Mama Sushi would like a general message. Okay, we're able to do that for you, Mama Sushi.
we'll do that.
General message for Mama Sushi. All right. Are you using the same deck as last time, Bill?
I am using the same deck still, but I did shuffle that Tarot of the Abyss for the first time.
Oh, yes. Desiree used that on Saturday when we went live.
Mhm.
The Queen of Sensuality. Yes, that's Ange. That's Ange.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Desiree loves Tarot of the Abyss. That's her favorite, she says. Yeah. What in the hell? What in the hell? Mama Sushi, are you going through something? Are you going through something? Oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that. All right, Gypsy JJ. Thank you. And I did not see that comment. Sorry. So yes, I will get that card for her. And I will read for Mama Sushi. Rubbing this chair is making so much noise. My goodness. All right. So like a rebirth. Like a rebirth. You are, aren't you? I knew it. Okay. So this is really interesting, right? The first card that has come out for you is the moon card, right? So of course I think, okay, well maybe she's working on some, inner work, doing some reflection, kind of looking at some of our shadow aspects, right? Uh I tend to do that sometimes. Sometimes, of course, during the darker months of the year, I like to do a little bit of shadow work, but sometimes just on a regular, quick card pull, like, oh, let me do a quick, daily pull, and you pull out a card and you get a message that makes you think or makes you go deep, right? So that was what I thought. But here's what I'm going to say: it starts with the moon and ends with the sun. And this is the first time that I have these two cards come out like that, the sun and the moon. So, whatever it is that you're going through, there's definitely some energy in between, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute. But this is just to let you know that the light is going to shine very brightly on you. So whatever it is that you are working on or working through, you're going to have some insight from that. You're going to have some insight that you're able to actually like put into practice or put into play, something actionable that you can take steps towards. So I really like that in this message. Now, the card in between the moon and the sun is going to be the Queen of Wands. Now, I don't read reversals, but in this case, I do get the sense that this is more of a warning, because like the Queen of Pentacles, she can be bold and courageous, and she's super confident. She speaks from a place of, for right deep inside, from her personal power. She knows how to get things done, and she's not afraid to be bold and to show it, right? She's going to be living her best life. So what I'm going to say to you with managing this energy, two things: one, be mindful of the way the ego comes into play when you're working with that energy, right? As you're making your way from the moon through this queen to the point where you get that insight from the sun, just be mindful, because sometimes the ego plays tricks on us. Sometimes it can create a little bit of an optical illusion. So you want to be mindful of that. And then the other thing that it's cautioning about is here: impulse. And the queen, can be a little impulsive if she's in the reverse, uh, and maybe doing things for the wrong reasons instead of the right reasons. So, what I want to say, whatever it is that you're working towards, you will have the insight at the end that you can take steps towards. And you will have to kind of put that energy, the Queen of Wands energy, into play, but just, be a little bit mindful. Try to stay connected when those little fears or nagging thoughts or that monkey mind steps in and puts things in your head. Just take that into consideration and try not to act from a place of impulse. Take a little bit of time to breathe through whatever it is that you're going to be doing to step into that sun energy. That is what I have for you, friend. Hopefully that makes some kind of sense for you, and I will pass it to my dear friend Bill. Oh, and I'm so excited you're using your birthday decks. Yes, I love them. In fact, I don't feel ready to let them go. I want to keep them out on the table for next month as well. This makes sense. So don't take my baby and run away. That's hilarious. Hey, Alicia, how are you? Hi and welcome. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for coming and thank you for coming back. Alicia joined us on Saturday. And that was a lot of fun. We had a good time. We had a very good time. All right, Bill, I'm just chit chatting. So whenever you're ready, let me know.
All right. So it's interesting that you're looking for a general reading, and then the issue card was essentially that you were looking for a general reading, looking for guidance. And what I got what I got here is a lot of cups energy, so a lot of water. And hold on. Hey, back. It's Leland. Okay, just hold
It's
on.
okay. It's okay. All right. So Bill will be right back to wrap up his message for you, Mama Sushi. I am gonna shuffle my cards and then I'm gonna grab that queen deck, the queen deck, and I'm gonna pull a card from there for Gypsy JJ, my sister. My
Oh,
sister. Beautiful.
okay. So sorry if I'm really distracted. Um,
You are fine, Bill. Everything's good.
so I'll just start at the beginning here, Mama Sushi, and that the first message I got here is comes out of my missile where Moses experienced God in the desert. And so if even in times when you feel empty, there is the spirit is there. And so even in this the most desolate of times, there is the spirit is there. The page number boiled down to the number 7. And the number 7 is means that you need to is about taking, like with the desert, you need to take time away to contemplate your life. And so it's about um spending that time in the quiet, in silence, and that you need to take that time for yourself. And then I move on to my oracle, and the number that popped up is 1, which is like his new beginnings. And so that you're at a point of having a new beginning. And the words that came out was 1, mud. So you've been kind of stuck in the mud. You've been stuck in a place. You need to move out of that. But then the other word was dance. That's a movement in energy that you need to move. And or maybe in dance means that you gotta jump over things. You have to um and be exercise your creativity to dodge through whatever it is that is bothering you. And then the other word that popped out was charcoal. So that's like burnt wood, fire. So the fire has come through and it has consumed everything, and all that's left is the remnants of a fire. And so that and out of the remnants of a fire comes new life, because if you want to, if you really want to get great growth out of your fields, you want to burn those things, even though it puts a lot of carbon in the atmosphere. But coming from that burnt field comes more abundance, becomes something of a more abundance place. And so what I got was in drawing some tarot cards was essentially fire energy and water energy, fire energy and water energy, and that so in you're kind of juggling in between these two things. So you're dancing in between water energy, cooperation, partnership. But then but then you also have this sense of this cup trying, somebody pulling you away, and the water is draining out of your cups, and but then there's all these distractions in there, which of course there is. You as a new mother and so forth, you have nothing but distractions in your life, and so hence you need to go into the quiet, into the desert, into a silent place in order to connect up to the spirit. Because otherwise, it may be what's going on is you have in the very present tense, you have a lot of clinging energy, a lot of people clinging on to you, and maybe you need to be, you don't have the energy to 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 give out to all of this a person of that is have glommed onto you, which gives you this need to run away. So you are wanting to run away from the situation because it's hard, and that's that part of that dancing and movement and so forth. And then there's a lot of then there is some of this narcissistic energy, this uh, uh, self-centeredness to a more unhealthy. I mean, we are all self-centered because that's just the nature of of being a human being, and so we all have these tendencies. They exist in us. It's just a matter of do how much does it control your life? And so being aware that maybe if there's people who are trying to manipulate you into doing things you don't want to do, or maybe you're doing the manipulations. It could be either way. The cards are not clear as to what you know who is the affected party, but that's kind of what I got. And so you have a bit of so it may be that you need to kind of think more like this Knight of Cups, and you are moving forward with on your horse, and you're carrying this water forward, and you're not really galloping, you're not going fast, you're just moving at a nice leisurely pace, so you don't want to dump that water out, because
Mhm.
you're going to spill that water, you're going to spill that the spirit that you have, the energy that you have. And so you want to make sure that you're hanging on to that. You don't want it to be pulled away. You don't want to be pulled away and have some thing that distracts you and keeps you stuck under this tree. But then being that these other things that we got of God, Moses found God in the desert. Well, maybe you're sitting underneath this tree and you need to spend some time contemplating. And that's what I have for you.
Mm. I feel like that is making sense to her. And there's a lot of like similar energy in both of the readings.
Mhm.
When you were saying like there's a lot of fire and water, I was thinking like fire, the sun, water, the moon.
Yeah.
And it's like this delicate, struggle between the two. So yeah. Thank you, Mama Sushi, for letting us read for you, and hopefully you're able to take something from that. Thank you so much. Yes, that is 100% true, Bill. Your mother is blessed to have you. Blessed to have you.
Well,
You're a good man.
trying to
Yes.
navigate people's emotions is kind of hard too.
Yeah, of course. All right, Gypsy JJ, I'm pulling a card for you. Oh, Carolina. Okay, sure. All right. So I'm pulling a card, Bill. So I was showing friends I received this deck.
I pulled this card twice.
Did you
Now,
really?
just put it
That was the
back in
card that I got for her.
the same one.
I got
King.
the queen. Yeah, the Queen of Wands.
Yeah.
That was the card in between the sun and the moon.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. I just put that thing back in the
Yeah,
deck and then pull it right back out again.
that's
Yeah.
funny. Yeah. So I was sharing, Bill. I got this deck from Selena, Essence of the Moon,
Yeah.
and I was showing the cards, and I have a couple people that asked me to pull a card from this deck. So I'm gonna pull one for Gypsy JJ and one for Ravneet. And then there's a couple others that are also waiting for readings. Hi, Nancy. How are you? Thank you for being here. All right. Okay, Gypsy JJ, you have the Queen of Connection. I don't know why this card kind of reminds me of like the Page of Cups. I guess because the fish, and look at the little like air bubbles between the fish and that person there.
Yeah.
Queen of Connection. Let me grab the book real quick. Of course, I'm just getting to know the deck. So this is card number 36. So actually, it is the last. Yeah, it's the last card in the deck. It's about a profound relationship with the world around you, authentically engaging with others, whether they're human, plant, or creature, fostering meaningful connections filled with kindness and care, and also ability to cultivate relationships that extends to the connection with herself, in which she practices self love and authenticity. And I don't know you very well, but from what I have seen of you in the various chats, I feel like this is exactly you, because I do see you as very kind and very nurturing, and you're very authentic when you connect with people. So I love that that was the card that has come out for you. So I'll show it again. That was the Queen of Connection. That was for Gypsy JJ. All right. Like I don't have like goddess decks, or I have like a Mother Mary deck, a couple of those. And I have this deck, I Am Queen, and then I have one that is around self-care practices. So it's nice to be rounding out the collection just a little bit. This is a great deck. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, that's so pretty. All right, so that was for Gypsy JJ. Now I'm gonna pull a quick card for Ravneet. Winds of Reflection. Winds of Reflection, this one is for you. Winds of Reflection, did you go on your walk yet today? OMG, you're not gonna believe this. Card number 32, the Queen of Gratitude. Look at that. Isn't she so beautiful? Queen of Gratitude. Gratitude is so important. So important. Inviting gratitude into your heart helps to release all of uh, you know, the more negative or the lower energies that sometimes take root in our hearts. So, this is the queen of gratitude. She embodies the essence of thankfulness and appreciation. She joyfully acknowledges and celebrates the blessings in her life, filling herself with the energy of gratefulness and spreading it all around her. I can tell you guys, beyond the shadow of the doubt, this is exactly what Ravni is like.
Mhm.
So I love that this is the card for her. It's a beautiful message for a beautiful person. If you're not already following Ravni, she posts a lot of YouTube shorts with a lot of
Here.
beautiful, inspiring messages. Yes, she has very long, gorgeous black hair, and yes, so if you could support my friend Ravneet, who is on a beautiful journey, like all of us, right? For learning and growth and for connection. I feel like that's the most important thing. The most important thing.
Well, I pulled a card for her out of my Married Mother Oracle.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And so this one, yeah, it is. It's like the movement of star energy, just everything moving up, towards moving up. So the quickest
That's
way, it says the quickest way to a destination is not always the most obvious or direct route. Obstacles can blind trust, determination, self belief, and courage. However, when those qualities are sufficiently developed in one's heart, it is more efficient and joyful to make swift progress on the sidestepping obstructions altogether. Let go of how you think things need to happen and just place your trust in spirit.
beautiful.
Mm.
Beautiful, beautiful. So hopefully you picked up on that message. Okay. So all right. And look, look at me. I brought a book and I was like, I'm going to be so good. I'm going to write everything down so I don't get messed up. And I didn't write anything down. And now I don't know who asked me for a reading, who I got,
Um,
who I didn't get. I feel terrible. Okay, so let me go back in the chat just a little bit. I know earlier, so Desiree, I saw that you wanted a card from this deck, and I will pull one for you, the I Am Queen Oracle. But before that, we had a couple people that asked for a reading. Okay, hold on. Alicia wanted a reading. Alicia, and then okay, and Carolina. Okay, Alicia and Carolina, and then Desiree, I will pull a card for you. Now, before we jump into that, let me say, Ange has shared that she is picking up the Mysteries of the Red Madonna Tarot, and it's
mm,
on its way now to her from South Africa. That's
wow.
amazing. That's
That's a
amazing. Oh, I love that so much for you. That's going to be beautiful. I can't wait. I can't wait to see that one.
mm,
Gorgeous. Gorgeous,
South.
gorgeous. All right. So we were going to read for Alicia. Alicia, yes, Alicia's still here. Okay. We were going to read for Alicia. Alicia had a question. Hold on. Alicia. Alicia, your question I want to say was about spirit guides. I'm looking. Okay. So here's the question, Bill. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. What do my spirit guides want to tell me about my spiritual journey and how can I remove obstacles from my journey? So it's a two-part question.
What do spirit guides say about my journey?
Yes. So a
And
message, right? Message
what?
from the spirit guides, and then how can I remove obstacles from my journey?
Mm, all right. I'm going to. I guess today, since I know the kiosk, I'll just do this one question, and then I'm gonna have to get moving and take care of some of those other things. And
I see. Okay.
yeah,
All right. So you have time to read for Alicia today, and then after that, you have to.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. So I am.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna read. Bill and I will read for Alicia. Then Bill has to go, and then after that, I will be reading for Carolina. And then after that, I am pulling a card for Desiree. And I think that is all of them.
Hmm,
Yeah. All right. My charm bag is fuller. My charm bag is fuller, and all right. So, um, Bill, do you want me to go ahead and kick it off?
yeah,
Okay. So I will read for you. I pulled some tarot cards, charms, and I pulled out an oracle card. I'm using a new oracle deck also from my birthday. This was gifted to me by my son, and I used it and was immediately floored. And now I've decided I must use it with all readings whenever possible. All right. Alicia, so you were asking about a message from your spirit guides, and then any, removing blockages. The biggest thing that I am getting from this message is that you are currently distracted. I don't know what is in the way, but there's a lot. There's a lot going on, and it almost feels like life is tugging at you from all different directions. And sometimes when we're in a situation like that, the best thing that we can do is allow for a little bit of space. So you see here this card, this is distance. When you're I know that the card says distance, but I can't help but think when you're looking at things from this perspective, obviously you're zooming out, right? You're zooming out and you're looking at the big picture, and it allows you to see things differently. So here on the card, the key words are separation, space, and blockage. So I think you're right. I think there is some kind of block in the way, but I think that you can achieve connection by creating a little bit of distance from the things that seem to be competing for your attention. I pulled the Lover's card for you. I feel like this is asking you to make a choice, to make a commitment, or even to recommit to the things, spiritual practices that you have in place, rituals. Anything that you're currently doing to connect with your teams, it's like they're asking you to make a personal connection to them. Now, certainly, there's a lot of distractions. I mentioned that here. We have the Five of Wands. And you can see the figure is trying to go fishing, and she's just, for the life of her, it's not going to be able to happen because everybody wants that fish that she is pulling out, right? So she, first of all, she's on a log. She's about to lose her balance. There's an eagle swooping in from behind. The cat came out of the nowhere trying to get the salmon or the fish or whatever it is. You have a bear in the background and then a beaver or an otter in the front. Everybody's vying for the fish. And that's kind of the way that life works sometimes, right? Everybody's vying for your attention, or your to do list spreads you out into a million different things. And then by the time you have a little bit of, sometimes you wake up in the morning and you're like, okay, I have so much to do. I just need to get started with my day. And then you start and you might bypass your spiritual practices, right? If you're the type of person that does things in the morning. And sometimes you might say, well, I'll just do it at the end of the night. But then at the end of the night, after you have a day like this, how is it even possible? You're so tired, right? Your head hits the pillow, you pass out. So what your guides are wanting from you is, carve out just a little bit of time for you to have more of a personal connection. I feel like your guides are always there. They're not mad at you. They don't get resentful. They're not angry when you take a week to yourself. They're just there waiting for you to say, I need help, and this is what I would like for you to do with me. But in order to do that, you have to have a consistent practice. I feel like that is what they're asking you to do. And maybe a way to get away from this energy is to create a little bit of distance. Create a little bit of distance from the things that are, pulling you away from who you are at your core. And then in terms of removing the blockages, I've kind of started to go in that direction. But the card that came out for you was the Four of Swords. This is the card of rest. Our minds are overloaded. How many times when you start out with a mental list of things to do and then you run out of time, and the next day you go and you keep going, and then a few days later you realize, wait, wasn't I supposed to blah blah blah, and you didn't get around to it, right? So your guides are, they're asking you for connection, they're asking you for almost a rededication, but also distance yourself from the things that are a distraction and give yourself some time to rest, because when you come back into your body you will be able to do the things that you need to do. I pulled out, this is a smoky quartz. right? This is the charm that came out. So this tells me that you need to do some grounding, some grounding exercise, maybe spending time outside. I don't know what the weather is like where you are. If you can go outside and take some steps, if you have a drum and you can play your drum, or whatever it is that you do for grounding purposes, that's what it's asking you to do. The other thing I was going to say with this Four of Swords, I was talking about, getting some rest and giving your mind a break. It's only then that you're able to connect to your inner knowing and to your intuition. And that's what I think of when I pull this charm. This is a seashell, a conch, you can see, and there's a small opening. And the conch is circular, right? If you could imagine, it's spiraling and you can only see a little bit. Um, but if you close your eyes and put it to your ear, you can hear a song. And that's what is asking you to do, to have a connection. I really feel like it goes back to this, to the lover's card, a dedication. So hopefully that is helpful for you. Thank you so much for letting me read, and I'll pass it to Bill.
Okay, so what I have is I first went in and tried to see where exactly you were at as far as I went to my major arcana deck, and I see that you're right. The world is behind you, and you got the moon in front of you, and so you're behind you is a sense of spiritual completion, or you are in a place where you are content, but in front of you is a place of deception, or it's a place of anxiety, or it's that sense that you are at 2 o'clock in the morning and everything seems more magnified, after the sun goes down, and all of your worries and everything is just coming at you, and it's distracting you from where you need to be. And so the message from my missile is essentially the number two. You need the need for balance, for to connect into your intuition, because where you're at right now is you're in the temple before it gets destroyed. The temple has been, it's there, and then and what happens in this place before the temple gets destroyed is that it's full of corruption. It's full of There's all these outside forces. There's wars. The Romans are coming in to destroy the temple. There are all these different forces outside of you that are disturbing your peace, and that's that sense of that moon, the deceptions and all this stuff going on. And so in being, what are the obstacles? Well, the obstacles are, you do have to spend time in the quiet to kind of see what those obstacles are. But I kind of drew a couple, what's the vibe card, just to see what it would say, what your main obstacles are. Well, it did say that vacation was an obstacle. Maybe
Mhm.
you're spending too much time checked out, a little bit too much time checked out, and you don't see that the temple is about ready to be destroyed. But then, but of course, in that temple story, what does exist is there is it that the temple is rebuilt. So it is rebuilt, it's not destroyed forever. So that's what the promise is in that story. But nevertheless, this is an obstacle. Maybe um, too many video games, or too much TV, too much something, too much something. Then the other obstacle that seemed to pop up is the narcissism card, and but that could also be, your an obstacle is eggshell that's about ready to crack. or your ego, the the those types of things. Um, I always go with the eggshell thing. The eggshell thing that where it's that everything is about ready to crack and break apart, and that is an obstacle for you to go forward, because what you have all there are all the wars, the rumors of wars, the insurrections or whatever, all these things that are coming at you that are tear the whole house down, and those are things that are just getting in the way. But then this one is the other obstacle was gossip or rumors or you know that spending too much time in gossiping, or I don't know if you're probably not a gossip, but there's
That do. There you are.
did I
You
disappeared?
did. You were
Okay,
freezing. You were lagging a little bit, and then you cut out. But now it's good. You were talking about what card is that?
this is one is it talks about warning of gossip and
Oh
rumors and
yes,
being
yes. And you know
so
what
that
I was gonna say? Like sometimes you're not a gossiper, but someone steps into the picture that is a gossiper, and it's just that reminder how to handle those situations.
yeah, so that's just so the spirit is telling you need to avoid those things, because all those things can can take you away from where you're at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Then, um, with my crosswords oracle, the words that popped out were struggle, weasel, and egg. And so, like there's the eggshell, the egg, and but then that egg can also mean something else, and that you need to go back to a beginning and go back to seed energy and and come out of the shell and go back in and and bloom into life, go back into the world, but go back into the world as an egg. But then you have these other things that are threatening to steal it, because weasels like eggs, I believe. And then there's then the, of course, the struggle of life, and then of course with that the numerological energy is 1 and 0, and or 10, but 10 being like the world card 10, but it's also 1, a new beginning, but 0 is kind of in a sense of meaning infinite energy. It's like it's
Mm,
it's a seed. That's that seed itself, and that singularity which everything came from. And so that's also like that world energy. And so
yeah.
that's what I got for you. I don't know if any of that makes sense.
Well, she was in the chat and she said okay. So I think, and sometimes you get these messages, and there's times where you get the message and they resonate, and then there's times you get the message and it doesn't resonate, but then a week later you're like, oh no, like I remember, I know what's going on now. This was that message I got before. So
Yeah,
it just kind of depends, right? Like,
yeah.
yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Bill. I hope everything works out with everything that you're trying to do. I understand if you have to drop early. Uh,
Yeah,
um,
apologize that I have to go just read and run, and all right.
we get it. We get it. So then, friends, Bill is gonna drop. I'm gonna stay on. And then yes, see, Desiree says sending good juju your way, Bill.
Yeah, thank you.
Lots of love to you, friend.
And I am what, a shade over 20 subs on my new channel away from being able to do live streams myself. I'm at 27.
Yes,
So,
that'll be exciting for you.
yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Have a
You're
good
welcome.
night.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye. Okie doke, friends. All right, so I'm sad. I actually very much look forward to spending time with Bill every chance that we get. So I'm sad that we got cut short a little bit, but I get it because there's nothing worse than having a situation and being completely distracted. So yes, Bill has, he has the 999 show, which is kind of like a variety show. He does a little bit of everything on there, a lot of painting, but he was doing painting and then he was painting tarot cards and he was doing like after church chats and he was doing a multitude of different things. And so what he wanted to do was kind of separate out the tarot onto a new channel. So that is the Tools of Fortune that is linked in the description box below. uh his 999, he does really well on that channel, and he hit his 1000 subs on there and we were all super excited for him. But his tarot channel is new, it's growing, and he has a unique style, I have to say, and that's super important, right? When you are looking for readers, for yourself, or whatever it is, like it's important to find a person that you resonate with. So, Bill has a very specific style, and his readings are often very deep and profound. And that might not be for everyone, but if he is your style, then yes, definitely please love on him, show him some support. And he's trying so hard to get up to the 50 mark so that he can host his own lives on his channel. So, yes, thank you so much for those of you who have taken the time to subscribe to his new channel. Tools of Fortune is the new one. So, I have this, like and subscribe, but you know what? I'm going to add like a little thumbs up here because sometimes I do this and then I see like little hearts. So, I'm going to add the one that has the thumbs up on here. Oh, goodness. All right. So, my little homemade sign, I love it too. I worked really hard on that. All right. So after Alicia, okay, Carolina, I think was waiting, but I don't know if Carolina's still here. So let me know. Um, you do both. Yes, I know. I go in and I start going crazy, like yay. Oh my goodness. All right. So I know Carolina was waiting. Carolina, let me know if you're still here. And while I'm waiting for Carolina to confirm, I'm going to pull the card for, I think it was Desiree, right? Desiree, you were waiting for this one here. I am queen. So I'm going to pull a card from this deck for you to see if it matches your energy. Dun, dun, dun. So friends, thank you so much for being here. Maria, you're here. I noticed that you came in earlier, but Bill was in the middle of his reading, so I couldn't say anything. But this is a new deck and the artwork is pretty cool. And so I was just pulling a few cards. Okay. All right. So Carolina is here. Okay. So I will pull cards now. Carolina, the chat got away from me. So let me go back because I don't remember what we were going to read on. So let me see. And I think it was you, Carolina, that asked me about the Oracle deck, right? I put it in the chat, but it's like this really long, ridiculous title on Amazon, but it has like these card backs, and I really like it. There's a lot of cards, 70 something. And even though it's like for love, I feel like it's so good for just everything. And my favorite thing is that it has the keyword and then 3 additional words right here. And I find that to be very, very helpful. You should have written it down. Oh, Desiree, I appreciate you. Girl, please. Girl, please. I love you. Okay. So, anyways, that is that. And then, okay, so I was looking for Carolina. And Ange was sharing about that new deck that she's getting. I'm so excited for her. Uh, and may I have a card? Oh, Aline. Aline, are you still here? I'm sorry I didn't see you. Hello and welcome. Let me know if you're still here. Aline wanted a reading. All right. So that was the whole point of bringing this book, is so I could do this and not forget. So groceries time. Okay, bye, Revni. Enjoy your groceries. Enjoy your groceries. Okay, Aline wanted a question. Carolina, Desi, and then I saw Nancy came in. I think I said hi. I don't remember. I would love a reading. Okay, Carolina, so I didn't see. Is it just like a general reading, or is there something in particular that you would like me to, see if I can pick anything up on? And then it helps me, kind of decide what deck to use. Oh, and the charms. Love the sound of the charms. I know the charms are so good and I like it. I like the sound that they make. It's like the anticipation of the charms. All right. Spirit message. Okay. I got you. Got my book. Spirit. You know what, Carolina? I'm going to bring this one over here. This is my In Case of Emergency Break Glass deck. So I'm going to see if there is anything that comes out. I don't use this deck very often. This is the Shimmering Veil, but this deck never go. It's always here. Because why? Because when you need it, you need it. So mm, okay. Okay. There's a court card here. Hold on. I think it's air, but I want to double check. Air, air. Oh, silly me. Silly me. It's a pentacle. Oh, I see. Okay. Warrior. So this deck has renamed the court cards. So I was getting the messages confused because it's very minimal words on this deck. Okay. So I'm going to leave that out. All right, friends. I need a clarifier. Okay, that's what I thought. So, Carolina, this is a message for you from your spirit team. So, this first card here, this is the Eight of Fire. And you can see, like, that's literally the only information we have down here. So that way you can kind of just focus on the glorious artwork. Eight of Fire. And it's almost like, whoa, what is happening? It's because the spirits are moving so fast from one end to the other. So there's fast moving energy coming in here. But it almost to me feels like there's a little bit of a conflict in the energy, but there's some guidance for you in terms of how to flow with that. So we have here, this is actually the knights were renamed to warrior. Yes, the knights were renamed to warrior. So this card here is the warrior of earth. And then you can see that this looks a little bit more, there's more action here than you would typically see in your traditional Knight of Pentacles. There's something going on, and I do like to take directions into consideration when I am reading. And so let me see if I could do this in a way that makes sense on camera. Because to me, there's combating energies. There's this Knight of Pentacle energy coming up against the Queen of Water. And both of these are receptive energies, but I'll show you. Can you see that? It's hard. There's a little bit of glare. But to me, he's holding that staff, and then she is holding a seashell in her hand. And it's almost like they both connect. They both connect. So there are a couple of energies at play here for you. And I really feel like the queen is asking you to connect with that, the feminine side, the intuition, and to step into a space of creativity. Because I've also pulled for you this here, the create card. And you can see it's a treasure trove. You open it up and there's no rules, right? Everything is open, anything is possible. This is what I like to call out of the box thinking. It's an invitation to do whatever. If you could do whatever you want, however you want it, if there were no rules, right? If there were no restrictions, there were no boundaries, what would you do? What could you create with that energy? And I feel like the queen is really asking you to kind of step into that creative space and really think about what you could be doing. Um, of course, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Well, the Pentacles is considered, the a feminine, right? Feminine suit, like more receptive. I guess that would be a better word. But at the end of the day, a knight is a card of action, right? It's asking you to do something. And with this card, I pulled out the charm, and it is a ladder, and it's like a situation that you need to get out of in order to step into. So there is very fast moving energy, but there's these two conflicting energies that are kind of stopping you from getting to that flow state. In order to do that, you have to kind of find a way to work through this warrior energy. It could be, with the ladder, I think, okay, it's offering you a way to get out of it. Well, how do you get out of it? Stepping into your divine feminine, stepping in, connecting with your intuition, stepping into all things beautiful, all things art, all things inspired and created by earth. And really like letting your imagination soar without any restrictions. So it's a heavy message, but I think it's a beautiful message. Hopefully some of this makes sense to you. If you have like two, maybe you're working on two things that are kind of conflicting and one is getting in the way of the other. If you have any feedback, if you feel comfortable sharing it in the chat, that would be great. Because that's the sense that I'm getting, that these two, courts are coming face to face like this. And one is really wanting you to do one thing, and he's fierce. Like, here's the thing, like, this card here, this is not like your traditional Knight of Pentacles where he's like, okay, we'll get there when we get there. Like, no, like, this is more fierce. And I feel like it's offering, there's a way for you to overcome that and step into this other side, for you to really be able to kind of grow. you know Remember, with this 8, it's very fast, right? I think of like when the sun is going down and you've been waiting forever for for that moment, and then all of a sudden you blink and the sun is gone, and you're like, what just I just spent 45 minutes waiting for the sun to go down, all of a sudden it's gone, right? It happens in the blink of an eye. So if there's any opportunities coming your way, if you have inspirations for projects, because I know like you have your YouTube channel and you're putting out content, so I don't know if this is related to that, but if there is like a stream, right? Stream of consciousness that is coming in, and you're trying to do one thing, but you think like doing this other thing in this more methodical way is going to yield more than if you just follow your intuition. That might be something, right? It could be that that is what is coming up here today. Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you so, so much. I'm sorry that I had to let you wait for a little bit, but hopefully that was helpful for you. Thank you so much for being here, friend. I am so happy. Of course, I love to watch other people's, channels and see their videos and all the things, but it's so much fun to hang out in the chat. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Carolina has a beautiful, beautiful channel. Please, we can love on each other and support each other and watch each other grow. And everybody has a different spin on the way that they do things, but I think that's the whole beauty of it. That's the joy. That is the joy of having a variety of YouTube channels. Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna put these away now. I don't think Aline came back, right? I never saw Aline came back. So Desi, then I'm gonna pull. Oh, thank you, Maria. Thank you. I went through this phase where I bought like a ton of like gemstone rings, and then now I feel afraid to use them because I know that it's time to bring them, to the jeweler and have them like touch up the prongs, and so I'm constantly worried that I'm gonna lose one of the gems, so I don't put them on. So then I figure, oh well, I'll wear them at least to, to do the videos, so that I could at least put them on. But at some point, I'm just gonna have to, give it a rest and take them into the jewelry shop to get refreshed. You know, we need that sometimes. Sometimes, isn't that something? Sweet Jesus. Okay. I know that the rings need to go to the jewelry shop. Okay. I know this. But instead, I keep putting them away, taking them out for short periods of time. Let me put them away before they get too tired, before I lose one, da da da. And the jeweler is right there. I could do this at any time, but why don't I do this? And I feel like so many of us do this with so many things in our life. Like, we know the one thing that we need that's going to help us, be able to function. If I take the rings to the jeweler, then I will be able to wear them happily without being worried about losing a stone, or really pull in their energies, and all the things. No, but instead I have to put them away because I'm worried. So if I know that that one thing is going to help me, then why am I not doing it? So I don't know, maybe that message was for me, but I'll share it in case anybody else needed it. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, friends. I love you guys. I really do. I really do. Okay, Desi, I have a card for you. This is for the I Am Queen Oracle. This is such a beautiful deck. This was gifted to me by Selena at Essence of the Moon. She found out that it was my birthday and sent it over. It arrived just in the nick of time. And there have been a lot of beautiful walkthroughs of the deck. So instead, I thought that I would premiere it today, and then I'm going to be featuring it in my next set of YouTube shorts where I have found an amazing pairing for it. And so that's what I'll be doing coming up. All right. Dear Desiree, this is for you. Desiree, this is for you. It's right here. Oh my God. I feel like every card has been so on point. Like when you know somebody and then you pull a card and you're like, whoa. Okay. You want to see what it is? Queen of Ancestors. Queen of Ancestors. That is so good. I feel like that was one of the first things you told me from like the get-go, that you like to work with ancestor energy. And I remember feeling like, oh, I want to, create like an altar or something. And I never got around to it. Okay, this is card number 6, in case the numerology does anything for you. Card number 6. And let me find it here in the book. I love this card. And I like that they did something different, not the traditional, like the painting of the skeleton and the girl with the flower, like they just went a different way. So I really, really like that. And also, I'm going to show this one more time because I feel like this is right up Angie's alley, her channel, Roots and Waves. Well, for me, that is a tree, and it's the roots of it are coming like right through her. And if I think that if we saw this full card, the roots would be going straight through her, out of the soles of her feet and into the earth. And at the same time, not just do I see a tree there, but I also see almost like an antenna picking up the signals. Yes, Desiree, this is you. This is you. I love this. So, Queen of Ancestors, I'm going to read this for you. Okay. The queen understands the significance of acknowledging those that came before, who gave you life. She knows her lineage and she recognizes and honors where she came from. This card represents the threads that weave the fabric of your identity, carrying within them both your lineage, blessings, and burdens. And isn't that the truth, right? Because we all inherit things, good things and bad things. And it's not just physical traits, right? We inherit we inherit physical traits, like people like, oh, you look just like your mother. Okay, that's true. Oh, you act just like your father. That's true too. And then there's illness, right? We inherit illnesses. Like I battle with blood pressure, right? That is something that I have unfortunately inherited, from my father's side of the family. But we also inherit their traumas, right? So this opportunity that we have here in this life to break some of those cycles and step into your power, I just love that. And every time I feel myself ending a cycle, I I just think I don't look back. I look forward. I think about what I'm doing for my daughter. This is one less thing she's going to have to deal with later on in her life. and one less thing she will have to worry about later, if and when she decides that she wants to, have children. So this is such a powerful reminder, right? And then finding her within. Start your journey with the queen of ancestors by asking these questions. So here's some questions for you to reflect on. You thought that you were coming to hang out and be my mod today. Sorry, Des. I'm giving you some homework. Who are the people in my lineage? How can I honor where I came from? What are the gifts of our lineage? What difficulties did I inherit from them? How do I shift and heal family traumas by bringing them out of the shadows? This can empower your history and the future. So, there you have it, my friends. See? Stick with me. I'll be giving you gifts for the rest of your life, girl. Oh my gosh. Desiree, that's for you. That was for you, Des. Here, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget. All right. Yes, that was super, super awesome. Hopefully, that resonated. You are most welcome, my friend. This has been a pleasure. I'm super sorry that Bill had to drop. I would love to stay on, but I think that we've, done all of the card pulls for today, and we just have a few people left in the chat. So I will say thank you. I wish you all a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you soon. Bye, friends.